I'm never going on a date ever again. Listen what happened to me. So I went on a date with this boy. He's 6'8", right? I don't even care at this point. We go out to dinner, and this lady comes around with roses, like selling roses, and I was like, oh my god, like she's gonna come up to our table and he's gonna buy me a rose, bitch. She comes up and she was like, do you want to buy a rose for the miss? And he was like, I'm good, thanks. I looked at him and I was like, so you're not gonna buy me a rose? And he was like, oh, I don't have cash on me, sorry, love. The bill comes, and he fucking pays the bill with cash.
You know, it's all well and good, right, when these ladies are the ones out here rejecting the men, but when they get rejected, it seems to be a whole nother story and they lose their damn minds. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be going through a collection of videos and a collection of stories. But before we jump into it, gentlemen, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord and locals, links in the description. And we're just going to crack straight on with the video.
Okay, so prove that guys on Tinder do not read your bio and they just look at your pictures. So I agreed to a 4th date with this guy. He comes to pick me up, asks to use my bathroom. Okay, fine. Comes out and he's just like, you got a man, I know you do. What? No, I don't. I'm on Tinder for a reason because I don't. He's like, oh, you think you're slick? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So this is what he was talking about. That I have this in my shower. Okay. I asked him, did you read my bio? Because it says in there that I have a kid and he's in middle school. That's his. So, boy, bye.
Yeah, and he probably yeeted out of there after realizing. Okay, you know, single mothers, gentlemen, for those of you who may be new to the dating scene, are a terrible idea to date. Okay, these girls are often looking for a man who can provide and look after them after they've gotten older. They don't want to work anymore, and they're hitting the struggles of life, and they need a man to come and help them. Single mothers are one of the worst demographics that you can date. But momentarily, and you know what? That's going to be a bit of a theme of today's show because we've actually got a couple more.
I was once.
But we might jump into this one first, and this is the same lady in the first video who was complaining about the fact that a dude didn't buy her roses and yet he bought the date. Which, by the way, we might return to that video, okay? But this is the kind of individual we're dealing with here. So let's see what she's got to say in her ordinary life.
To not believe in crystals until I got this crystal 3 days ago, and it has changed my entire life in 3 days. Let me just explain to you all the good things that has happened to me. I got a call for a job that I've been applying to for over 4 months, and they called me and they're like, hey, you got the job. I fly out to California for the job 2 days ago, and I go to see a house that I want to live in. There was no chance I was going to get it. Like, it was on the beach. There was like 25 other applicants. They just called me 10 minutes ago, and they're like, you got the house. Like, that doesn't happen to me. Earlier.
Can you guys imagine dating someone, right, who puts so much faith in crystals and believes that they influence the outcomes of their life? Okay, these are the types of girls, I mean, when we talk about red flags on the show, one of them is this whole, not necessarily, okay, yeah, spiritual talk is a red flag, okay, when she says that she's spiritual, she's done healing, all that kind of stuff. But another one as well is when they, you know, when they have rocks and get into all this kind of stuff, guys, because for people who try and say that they're the most tranquil individuals on the earth, these girls who have this sort of aesthetic, shall we say, are most definitely not.
Earlier today, I was walking and someone came up to me and they handed me a croissant and they were like, hey, I just wanted to give you this croissant because you were just sitting there and you looked so beautiful and I just had an urge to like buy you something.
And, you know, the funny part about that is, right, is like she got that because she's a girl. That's what it is. Because she's a girl who looks halfway decent, that's why she got the food, okay? When was the last time, we got a majority male audience who watch these videos, okay? When was the last time someone just bought you something because they said that you were beautiful and, you know, they wanted to buy you something? Like, how ridiculous is that, right? It's not because of the damn crystal, okay? And these are the same girls that will turn around and say, oh, we aren't privileged, right? This is just, we get given things just because people are nice. Like, they can't see it from the fact that nobody else gets this kind of preferential treatment, and yet they'll sit here and complain about the wage gap, which, by the way, doesn't exist, and say how that they're oppressed, right?
I went to Target, someone comes up to me, and they're like, you are literally so mesmerizing, like, I just can't. And when I was in line, the person in front of me was like, hey, do you want to cut me? I got food like 30 minutes ago, and they're like, hey, we just felt like putting extra food in your bag, so we did. Dude, this crystal, you need to go buy one.
Bro, it's literally just called being a girl. Okay, that's what it is. It's called being a girl. Man, these girls are so oblivious to the privilege that they have, man. And then these are the same types of people that will turn around and complain about how the world's unfair to them. But guys, we got another TikTok here, and this one is muted, but goodness gracious me. So it goes, being a single mother was never part of the plan, right? And she's there cleaning her gutters for my boys who aren't watching the video itself. But this is reality now, and it's her doing her chores. Okay, this is the funny part about it, right? Even through all the struggles that life takes you, let's see what else she's got to say. Oh, she's coming down. I keep pushing to show that my girls that being independent isn't a bad thing. Guys, I'm telling you, these single mothers, okay, who complain about their situations, now, notwithstanding any sort of awful stuff that happens to the partner, the husband or the guy that's in her life, right? Notwithstanding the terrible things that may happen to the father that, you know, he's not necessarily with them anymore, these girls had the choice. Okay, they choose the partners, right? And then they want to complain about being a single mother. Make better decisions. That's what it comes down to. And we got another one here, right? And it is titled, so she's dancing with her child, right? And it goes, on my way to the realization I'll be a single mother forever because guys suck. As if guys are the problem. Right? It's like these girls will literally get themselves into situations where they're going to be alone for the rest of their life, and then they'll blame men for that situation. Right? Like, someone please make that make sense to me. Now, guys, we have one TikTok here, and just a bit of a warning before we get into it. So, this is not an attack on this person, right? But I just want to go through this video and point out a couple of things that I think guys that should be aware of, okay? Because obviously this is actually a genuinely a pretty crappy situation that she's gotten into here, and we don't know her full life story, so I'm not going to make any kind of extrapolations to her life. But we're going to point out a few things as we get to the end of hearing this woman's story.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Probably gonna cry. So I just left the doctor's because I broke my fucking foot.
She's a single mother, by the way, guys.
So I'm gonna shoot my shot because I'm so fucking screwed. If everybody who sees this could cash at me $1, I might be able to pay my bills this month and pay my rent because I broke my fucking foot and I have 2 jobs that require me to use my feet. Welcome to my mental breakdown. I'm like 50% kidding and 50% like, maybe if 500 people see this video, then maybe I'll get like $100 and I can calm down.
Okay, guys, so a few things to point out about this. Obviously, this is a crappy situation, right? She hurt her foot and she works, I believe she said 2 jobs. Okay, but let's look at the facts here, right? In the hashtags that you guys can't see off of the screen here, she says that she's a bartender and that she's a single mother. Okay, now the thing about this is, right, if you're working 2 jobs, you're a single mother, the question you have to ask yourself is, where is the father of the kids? Okay, so did he leave voluntarily, right? Or did you make him leave? Okay, like what was the splitting up situation? Because these girls who get themselves into terrible situation, let me tell you what happens a lot of the time. A lot of the time, a man will come along, and we're just going to play it while we talk over for a moment. A lot of times, we as a man will look at this situation and we'll think to ourselves, oh, well, poor woman, that obviously really sucks. And maybe it does, okay? Maybe she's just down on her luck. But you've got to ask yourself the question, why isn't the other guy around? You see, a lot of men want to play this I'm going to save the girl type mentality, and what they don't realize is a lot of times it's just a trap. Right? These girls will frequently be in situations that are not positive, and they'll drag you down with them. Okay, a lot of guys, what they think is, okay, I'll get into a relationship with this girl, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to help her out, I'm going to show her that I care, I'm going to help her solve her problems, and then you end up worse off for it. Okay, because what'll happen is, maybe she's probably not going to be attracted to you. You're going to enter this girl's life as a necessity, not necessarily something that she's attracted to. Okay, so you're going to swoop in, you're going to try and solve all the problems, which, by the way, half the times, the person doesn't even want their problems solved. Okay, this is something that we as men, we really have a hard time understanding, okay? When somebody asks us for help, we think that they want a solution to their problem, generally speaking. Okay, like we think that, okay, they're asking us for help because they want help solving the problem. But oftentimes that couldn't be further from the truth, guys. Okay, sometimes people want someone to listen, that's fine. But the point I'm trying to make here is a lot of these girls who are in crappy situations of their own volition and they will stay there no matter how much you try and help. A lot of guys will drag themselves down as a consequence of trying to be a good person. So just be careful, is all I'm trying to say there. Now, gentlemen, we're going to jump into a couple of Reddit stories today and see what we have on this. So, it is titled, a 32-year-old male, right? My 32-year-old wife has a crush on a coworker, and now I'm questioning our whole marriage. Myself, who's 32, and my wife have been together for 13 years and married for 5. Wow, that's an anomaly. Like you don't see too much of that, right? The current situation started about 2 weeks ago following another problem. The original problem being that since the start of something I can't say, I've been working from home, with my wife going back to office full-time a couple of months ago. We tend to like our own spaces, but I'd become sad about how keen she was to go to the office and in my mind to get away from me. On a day we were spending more time together, she was very distant, so I asked if she'd gotten sick of me, to which she said she had for that day. Later on, she said she felt bad about this, that she needed to tell me that she's having a crush on a coworker and has been for a few months, which has become quite obsessive. While they aren't texting and she doesn't know if it's mutual, she's checking them out constantly online. But she says the crush might pass itself by after 4 to 6 months and not to worry. Man, men are in relationships putting up with this level of disrespect as if it's normal. Like, I get that you've been together for a long time, guys, but at a certain point, like, you've got to draw the line and say, hey, this is a little bit stupid. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and deal with this. It is so crazy to me to see what certain guys will put up with in order to kind of say, well, I don't want her to leave, I don't want to rock the boat, so I'm just gonna sit here and accept this. It blows my mind. Now I'm worrying constantly and overthink things, and every day when she gets home, she brings up this coworker multiple times. I feel that I need to mention at this point that she's bi and the coworker is a woman. I guess I'm prude because while I as a male feel it could be wrong to ask a female coworker to have a coffee with me one-on-one after work, they've done so a couple of times, but she hasn't done that with anyone else in the office. Today, she said she was walking with the coworker after work, following where they were going just to see where they'd end up. I feel this is more in the obsessive territory than just friendship and doesn't seem appropriate. It's not. Okay, it's just absolutely not, man. I've seen dudes, right, whose girlfriend will openly be interested in other guys, and it'll pain them, but the dude won't say anything because he doesn't want to lose the girl. So the girl is essentially like she's out there scouting in front of his damn face, looking for other dudes, and the dude will just sit there as if it's completely normal, and we're just supposed to accept this, guys. If this kind of crap crops up, just immediately draw a line. If she crosses it, you're gone. Okay. Now I understand this is a lot harder to do with marriages and stuff like this, guys, but we're not sitting in relationships putting up with disrespect just because we don't want people to leave. That's beyond silly. I'm also spiraling when I start to question things, like am I the only one wanting to sit together or give hugs, or see how she's doing, or say that I love her. So I broke down today and said I feel our marriage is heading towards a dead end. Later on we spoke more and I tried to get her to see my perspective. In the past she's gotten angry if another woman so much as looks at me, and I feel that I can't have friendships with the opposite gender because of it. With that in mind, I asked her if she'd be happy if I was doing what she was doing with another coworker, to which she said no. So this woman is, not only is she doing this, right, she's just openly hypocritical of the situation, and she expects her husband not to do the same thing. Like, so it's okay for her to do these sorts of things, which, guys, when we talk about the coffee earlier, let's call it for what it is, okay? It's a date, right? She's going out, she's getting coffee with only this person in the office, and then wants to pretend as though it's normal, and she wouldn't accept it if the husband did it. Hell no. She says she loves me, she says she's not having an affair, that we can work on this, and she's not going anywhere. It is what she said 2 weeks ago, but these past 2 weeks haven't helped. She also said that crushes pass by themselves, but wasn't sure on how to respond when I asked if they would pass without any action on her part to reduce it. In an attempt to cheer me up, she mentioned that she met with a couple of her friends to get their thoughts, and they said in their shoes they'd pursue a polygamist relationship, then says she's had an interest in that too, but knows I wouldn't be into it. She also said that monogamy is a relatively new concept and being with one person forever is more of a fantasy. While she says she doesn't want to leave me, she also doesn't know what might happen in a few years. It didn't cheer me up. Then polyamorous relationships in 2021, we're going to start seeing a lot more of these. Okay, because what's happening is dudes are being actively trained to be just subservient little wimps, essentially, is what dudes are trained to be. And girls are starting to go, hey, well, why would I settle for one little boyfriend, right? One weak little guy who's going to do whatever I can tell him to. Why don't I go out there and I get multiple boyfriends? Okay, hell, it's more free stuff. It's more attention. It's more security. It's more stability. Maybe a bit more fun. I'm probably not attracted to him because he's a wimp, right? But I can go out there and get a bunch more dudes. Why the hell wouldn't I? Other things we talked about were that although that she doesn't show much affection, she has a much higher S drive than me. She was annoyed that I checked her phone to see how bad it was. She also says I need to clean the house more. Finally, she says that I'm making her feel bad about her S3 actuality. So not only is this guy starting to get gaslighted, right, or he probably has for quite a duration, the girl is now, or probably still has been during this entire time, giving him chores and stuff to do. Right, you can see what's happening here, okay? The dude's just being turned into a wuss if he wasn't one already. I'd say I probably feel worse now than before. I'm not sure how I feel about sinking my whole life into a marriage knowing it'll fall apart later. I'm not really sure why she wanted to get married in the first place or why she wants kids with me. I'm not sure what to do or how to stop being upset. Too long didn't read. Crush and thoughts of polygamy have got me questioning about our whole marriage. And let me just, preface this by saying, if we go back up to the beginning of the article here, the beginning of the write-up, right? They've been together for 13 years and married for 5. I would be very surprised if this woman hadn't cheated on him throughout their relationship. Okay, and this is something that we're going to see a lot more, the polygamy, right? As well as breaking up relationships but still trying to stay together, which ironically enough is the topic of the next one we're going to jump into. It is titled, a 26-year-old male girlfriend who's 23 suggested we don't call it a relationship anymore, but continue to be in each other's lives. Guys, if you've been watching this content for a while now, you already know what this means. Okay, it means she wants to go out, she wants to see other dudes, right? But she still wants the security of a relationship. Right? She wants the security of having a guy in her life, but at the same time she wants to go out and, find herself. She needs to do her healing, all this kind of crap. Right? Anytime a girl says I need to find myself, or I want us to stay in a relationship, but I don't want it to call it a relationship. Guys, let's just cut the BS, okay? What that means is she wants to see other guys. That's what it means. My girlfriend of 6 months, who's 23 years old, out of the blue suggested we don't call it a relationship anymore because she wants to enjoy her 20s, but also wants me around because things are better with me around. That's so disgusting, man. This absolutely frustrated me, especially because she is the one who always keeps saying how we will make it work, etc. More than anything, I found it really disrespectful. I would have felt less hurt if she just told me she wants to end the relationship to go have fun with other guys in her 20s than tells me she wants me around. A case of have my cake and eat it too. Also, this in spite of her telling me how much she enjoys the fun times with me. Anyhow, I told her she can enjoy her 20s and said we are over. I don't want to wait around or be a backup. 3 days later, she messages me that she misses me and wants me and how she thought we could always talk in any situation and make it work. I don't know what to do now. I care for her, but I don't want to be disrespected like that either. You cut it off completely. I'm glad that this guy had half a clue. Right? Most guys, when they get into a situation like this, they don't even have any of a clue, and they'll just, keep it dragging on. So hopefully he doesn't keep it dragging on. Would love to know your opinion, guys. Edit. A part of me thinks it's her friend who suggested this. While they are close friends, I don't particularly like her because I always find this girl jealous of the fact that my girlfriend is self-made, has a great career and a stable relationship. She is a rich dad's daughter whose guys treat as a piece of fun for fun. They have been friends for long enough. Edit number 2. I have only ever been a spectator on Reddit, but thought I would get it out for a second view. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the help. I would also be more active on comments. I know how much each comment meant for me, so I would only be giving back to the community. Thanks again. Yeah, you leave. So let's see what some of these wonderful comments are anyway. Yeah, she wanted you to wait for her and be faithful while she played with others. That's true. Yes, she does. She'll pretend she doesn't, but if you get a good thing going with someone else, she will sabotage it because she wants you to be there when she's done having fun with everyone around. While she's getting her fun, she'll be manipulating you to keep you on her little hook. I'm so glad that, even people on Reddit, right, I strongly dislike this platform. Even people over here seem to have half a sense about what's happening over here, which is really good to see. But guys, we're going to pull up one more story to wrap off today's show with. And this one is about money, right? We all know how much money seems to be a pervasive theme in today's relationships, especially in Western society. So let's, he's got to earn a particular amount. He's got to do a certain amount. So let's see what this one is titled. Girlfriend of 6 years, who's 27, so you were 21 at the time, almost left me, who's also 27, because I promised her a $7,000 bracelet and then changed my mind. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 6 years now. We met in college. She comes from a wealthy family and I come from a middle-class family with fairly frugal parents and upbringing, so I have always been a little bit unaccustomed to her spending habits. She's never been too pushy about me getting expensive gifts or anything, but now that I'm older and I'm lucky enough to have a well-paying job, and we're also thinking about our future, marriage, wedding costs, housing costs, I think money has started to play a bigger role, and our fundamental philosophies about money are starting to strain the relationship. My dad left my mother in 2014, and he was the main breadwinner, and the rest of my family doesn't make much, so I'm the highest earner in my whole family and extended family by far. My attitude with money is to be reasonable, not too extravagant, and mainly save for life's big expenses. I also live in an expensive area, so the amount of money I need looms over me, but should be achievable if I save. Mainly, I see money as a tool to provide a level of security and attain my goals. And because I'm starving for these goals, I feel extravagant purchases can come later. This is a good mindset to have, right? It's like, if you're earning this kind of money, don't be wasting it on dumb stuff. I see all these guys, man. It makes no sense to me, right? All these guys out here, buying chains and stuff with a huge portion of their income, trying to make themselves look good to girls, man. A lot of times to these girls, you look like an absolute clown, especially to more experienced women, right? Who understand that you're just doing this because you want to get their attention. Oh, they're going to swing by and use you up real good. A lot of girls who actually, who know what they're doing, you think that you'll have a wonderful girlfriend for a while, but I'm telling you, man, these girls can act. Right, a lot of these girls can really act, and they can tell who's just coming at it because they're wasting money and doing all this stuff. But insofar as life as well, that's good. Being frugal and going for your goals. Anyway, my girlfriend, on the other hand, comes from a wealthy family, has an okay paying job, but mainly has financial support from her family to do things like buy expensive jewelry and travel. As I've said, she doesn't expect that much of me and allows me to save my own money. Oh, well, thank God she's allowing you, right? She's allowing me to save my money. Goodness gracious. But I recently promised her a gift of a very expensive bracelet and at the last minute backed out because I couldn't really justify the expense at this stage of my life. Well, I feel like I needed to save for other things. I messed up in promising this to her because I just wanted to make her happy and didn't have the guts to tell her the truth. We had a big fight about it, with her almost leaving me. We love each other, and I'm sad that I broke a promise I never should have made. Here's the thing, right? You obviously don't give out promises that you can't keep, okay? But for her to almost end the relationship of you, to leave you over that's pretty comedic, to be honest. That's pretty comedic. But the truth is, her attitudes about money make me worried and uneasy. She wants the nicest things in life, like a $100,000 wedding, ability to travel frequently, and stay in the nicest hotels. How big of a red flag is this, by the way? Right, this whole traveling thing. This is what girls will do in their early 20s, right? They'll do a Europe trip or something like that, where they'll go see all the countries in Europe, and yeah. Look, traveling is a huge red flag. A lot of what these girls will get up to some very fun activities while they're traveling because nobody knows them. It's anonymity. Okay, that's why a lot of girls love traveling, right? It's not necessarily because of the experiences, although sometimes it is. But a lot of times it's one, to show off to their friends and put pictures on social media to make them look better, and two, because the anonymity affords them the ability to have fun that they might not necessarily have been able to do in their little hometown. So those are a couple reasons. Traveling is a pretty big red flag, to be honest. Certain other things she's surprisingly modest about. For example, she doesn't care if we live in a huge house as long as it's nice and well furnished. But typically her mentality leans on the heavily spendy side. This has made me also quite spendy. We're both stressed about this and I'm unsure of what to do because we love each other a lot and want to be together. Yeah. Whenever people say this kind of stuff, man, of, oh yeah, we want to be together, and yet this almost dissolves their relationship, it makes me question whether or not they really love each other. And when I say that, I mean the girl specifically. Right? So let's see what some of these comments say. I'm interested to see. Don't make dumb promises. And they're guys, I understand the part here. You don't make a promise you can't keep, obviously. But you know, these girls out here think that they're entitled to a man's money, right? I get that he promised it and he shouldn't have, but the spending habits of this girl are a huge concern. A lot of guys will get into relationships where girls will happily spend their money and they'll just think nothing of it. Guys, if your relationship can be shook by the fact that you didn't buy a girl a gift, I don't know what to tell you. You know, maybe I'm being a bit too mean here and on the whole promise thing. But guys, you know, 7K bracelet, no, absolutely not. So let's see how these other comments continue to bash this guy. There's a lot of conflicting things here. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. He posts about being frugal, but his post history paints a different story. Ooh, the plot thickens. Don't make promises you can't keep because you want another expensive watch or expensive truck or expensive grill. Did OP delete? Oh, so this guy's been, you know, sloshing around his money, has he? Lamau, I love how the OP trashes his girlfriend for buying expensive jewelry, then turns around and buys a 7K watch, literally expensive jewelry, and then called him out on it. He deletes all his posts so people won't know what the real reason is she almost left him. Dude better start learning how to be single again. Wow, what a plot twist, guys. What a plot twist. Does it get any worse? Let's have a look. Blah, blah, blah. He doesn't seem to come. Anyway, came to say this. You're not ready to discuss marriage if you can't agree on finances. True. First of all, marriage shouldn't be a discussion at all, but that's a talk for another time. How she spends her money isn't wrong if she can afford it, and you wanting to save isn't wrong either. But you sound like you've decided who she is, and that's that without talking to her about her expectations of the future. Also, yes, you messed up big time. Why would you promise this bracelet to begin with? Just say nothing. My husband and I come from very different backgrounds, and we spend money differently, but we agree on things like a joint savings for our major life goals, investments, and make sure all our bills are covered by using our free money as we want. That's funny, right? The plot just thickens about this guy spending money on himself, so now he looks like the clown. That's absolutely fantastic. But guys, I think we're going to leave today's episode there. As always, thoughts and comments below. Always interesting to see what you guys have to say. If you disagree with anything I've said, feel free to do so. That is what the comments are for. And we're going to leave it there. Make sure you come and join the Discord and the locals links in the description, guys. Both of those are totally free to join. And until next time, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves. Peace.